Hey, I'm glad to be back for another shortened season of the Worship Catalyst podcast. Years ago, when I first started thinking about this podcast, the first thought I had was to find worship leaders in all sizes and styles of churches with whom I could have conversations about where they are, what they do, how they make decisions, what drives them, those kinds of things. I really thought it was a good idea because I think as long as we're curious and not prideful, we can learn from anybody. But some of my team told me that that was a terrible idea, and they're probably right. So we started talking about a lot of things that have hopefully been really helpful for you over time. But I'm excited because I finally get to do my idea on this series. I'm here with a really humble, amazing leader named Jaren Mooring. How's it going, Jaren?
Good.
And for the next 3 episodes, we're going to get out our notebooks, and we're going to learn from this guy. He's a seasoned worship leader in a mid-sized church near where I live here in Northeast Florida. I've had the privilege of spending some time with him and his team, and I can tell you that we all need to take notes on Jaren's life, on his leadership skills, and mainly his heart for people and the church and Jesus. So with that introduction, you better be good. So that was pretty strong.
That was really good, man.
Yeah. You think you bringing something today?
No.
See, there's the humility. I'm already right. The humility is coming to play. All right, so Jaren, just tell us what you do, like what church you're in, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm a worship leader in Jacksonville, Florida, and church, like you said, it's a mid-sized church. We're about 500 or so.
Okay.
And got a team about 20-ish people. So it's a great team, a lot of fun, and yeah.
Okay, so in your job at this church, Faith Bridge, do you have other responsibilities and roles in the church, or are you only worship pastor?
I wish it was that easy. I just show up and listen to music all day.
You just pick 4 songs and sing them on Sunday,
go back to bed.
Right?
Yeah. We are currently without an associate pastor, so
okay.
We are a staff of 6 right now, and there's a lot of us that are just divvying all of that responsibility up.
Okay.
So a lot of it just because of work history. Me and our our kids minister. Do a lot of changing light bulbs and painting and fixing toilets and hanging banners and all of some groundskeeping type stuff.
I'd say most worship leaders I know aren't good at that kind of stuff. I bet you're a benefit to the church that you have a little bit of skills. Huh?
Yeah, they get some free work out of me sometimes.
I guess so. Now they hired you. Weren't just like a paid worship leader all your life. This is kind of a new thing, right?
Yeah, I was actually kind of a rare breed. I was actually able to be the interim for about 3 months before they decided to go along with the hiring process. And so it was I could try it before I buy it, kind of deal. And
I think it was them trying it before they bought it.
Maybe so, but being in the ministry, that like we wanted to make sure that this is where our kids are going to be happy as well. And it's more than just a job. Our kids' spiritual lives are at hand, and to make sure that it's somewhere where they're going to hear the word and be able to worship. And so that was an important decision. So instead of just getting a job and hoping for the best, we were able to kind of try it out for 3 or 4 months and really make a decision. Like, this is where our kids can grow and can make friends. And
love that.
Yeah.
So how long ago was that?
Coming up on 3 years now.
3 years. Okay. Yep. Wow. That's awesome. And so 3 years, you've had plenty of time now to settle in, figure out your schedule, all that kind of stuff. And I know you've got a family. We'll talk about that in a minute. But in this episode, we really want to kind of dig in a little bit to just a week in the life of a worship leader, right? And so what does your weekly rhythm look like in terms of the actual job itself?
In terms of like just time schedule, it varies a little bit because sometimes toilets don't stop, flowing and light bulbs go out or, sprinklers are leaking. But, I have some hard times during the week in terms of every Monday at 10 o'clock, I meet with my pastor and we kind of talk about the Sunday morning,
right?
And what did we like? What could we do better? We look ahead to the next Sunday.
And that's just you and your pastor?
Yep, just my pastor and I. We just got a quick debrief, what's going on. And really, it's just kind of a lot of hanging out in his office.
Cool.
Sometimes
awesome.
we'll be in there an hour and just shooting the breeze for 45 minutes, and then we get down to business.
Okay, so on Mondays, you got that 10 o'clock meeting.
Yep.
do you think of your schedule in terms of blocks? Like on Monday, I'm going to do this. On Tuesday, I'm going to do this. On Wednesday, I'm going to do that. Do you think of your schedule in that way?
Yeah, typically, we have the 10 o'clock meeting. On Tuesday, I'm making sure that everything is in ProPresenter and at least some variation of it to where, I'm setting people up for success.
So your songs are already picked.
Yep.
How long in advance?
I typically will do 6 weeks out.
Okay, wow. That's a lot of weeks out.
Well, I said typically also.
Okay, when it's functioning correctly.
So I will send out towards the end of the month, I'll sit down and do the schedule with all of our vocalists and guitar players and drummers. And so they know when they're playing, the songs are up there, so they can practice as much as they need to. Okay,
so on Tuesdays, you're making sure everything's dialed in for Sunday from a technological perspective.
Yeah. Wednesdays is really just double checking my work. I meet with a mentor every Wednesday. We eat lunch, and I just get to pick his brain and talk about stuff, and figure out where we are, and which is extremely helpful because I feel like I'm leaving a Wednesday, midweek. You're tired, and you just kind of refreshed, after just talking with him. He's just such an encouragement, and, will tell you when you're being an idiot and let you know when you're doing a good job as well.
Yeah. And this guy's a mentor in your church?
He's not in our church. No. Okay. He's a good friend of mine who, coming up on probably 20 years I've known him. Yeah. And really helped develop me when I first started just playing the guitar.
Oh, cool.
And getting into worship. And
I would love to get into that relationship maybe in one of our future sessions when we talk about it, because I think that because we'll talk a little bit about life balance and trying to, blend family, work, sleep, exercise, all those things.
Yeah.
And I think that someone pouring into you and keeping you, on the line is really important in that. But so, and then when is your band rehearsal?
We do Wednesday nights.
Wednesday nights.
Yep. We've already got a lot of people showing up for classes and, students and stuff. So, somebody can drop their 10-year-old off and come into band rehearsal. We don't have to be there an extra night of the week.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So Wednesday then is double checking everything, getting ready for band practice, all of this. And then Thursday, what's kind of the big chunk there?
Thursday is making sure it's all polished off. Primarily just making sure any changes that we may have made in band rehearsal, make sure that I've got all of that done in the computer and ProPresenter, and if we're running tracks, making sure all those changes are up and running.
Okay. So what you've walked me through is not 40 hours. Okay.
No.
Okay. So what are the other things that because I think a lot of times when you think of somebody that's not full-time at this, and then they want that full-time thing, they think about what you just described. I'm going to be ProPresenter. I'm going to arrange songs. I'm going to have band practice. I'm going to sing songs. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But there's way more to it.
Yeah.
And so what are the things that really kind of take up, that's a big chunk of time, whatever it was, to do all of the things you said. What is the rest of your time?
It's really just a lot of it's relational.
People.
The people, not that are just serving with me on a Sunday morning, but it's, we'll find out that old, Miss Mabel fell and is in the hospital. So we got to go, let's go spend some time with her in the hospital and sit with her for a little bit, and discipling some of the people in the church and getting to know the people that we're leading, because you can't lead well if you don't know the people that you're leading. What kind of songs are we singing? Do we need to sing these songs? So that's a pretty big chunk of it, is just checking up on people and forming relationships with them and getting to know them and letting them get to know me and my heart in worship and how we're doing it.
Yeah, that's amazing. And by the way, I would say that when you put that kind of investment into people's lives, that shows itself on Sunday so well, man. Like when people know that you care about them and you've invested in them, they will trust you so much more.
Yeah.
To be authentic towards God, towards each other, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think we, just because we're on the stage and the room is set up, the lights are already facing us, we're elevated on a stage, there's always, it's really easy as a musician or a worship leader to get into I got here 2.5 hours early, I'm ready to go home, so service is over, and then you just pack up and leave, and you don't get to spend the time with the people that you are leading worship to, or leading worship with. And I think it's important to take some of that time out and get to know them. A lot of times it helps choose songs.
Yeah,
Better. Any given Sunday we can sing a song, and I can say, yeah, I think this person needs to hear this, or this person relates to this. I know that they would enjoy singing this and worshiping.
Yeah, it's so good, man. So I'm hearing three things that so far. One of them is getting ready for Sunday, and that's like all the stuff that you have to do for that. Mm-hmm. One of them is people, just like discipling people, or visiting people that are in the hospital, or whatever those ministry pastoral type activities that you do. Another one is meetings. Oh, that's a third one. There's a fourth one. So there's meetings and stuff like that. And then there's a fourth thing that you mentioned, which is fixing toilets and cleaning up after people and whatever else comes up, right?
Yeah.
As assigned by the pastor on the job description.
Other duties as assigned.
Yeah, right, exactly. Is that have I got 90% of your job, you think?
Yeah, that's a pretty vast majority of it.
Okay. Then other stuff just happens.
In a nutshell, sometimes.
Yeah. So this is not the only thing you do in your life. So what else is going on in the life of Jaren other than being at the church office?
Wife, four awesome little girls.
Yeah.
And
4 girls.
4 girls.
Awesome.
It's a bunch. It's a lot of estrogen in my house.
Man. A lot of weddings.
But yeah. I hope they're smart.
We just had to pay for one of those. We just had to pay for one of those last year. I don't recommend it.
No, I'm not looking forward to that part.
No.
Can't pay for wedding and college.
That's true.
So
that's hard.
But so my wife is a dance teacher. She works in the afternoons on top of nursing during the day.
Okay.
And we have got 4 awesome girls, 13, 11, 9, and just turned 2 years old.
Wow.
So surprise.
Yeah. And so are they all involved in activities and stuff? You're taking them around and all this?
We are fortunate enough that they have all fallen in love with dance like my wife has.
Okay.
So I don't have to pick one up from soccer and then softball and then karate. I go to one place and pick up kids and, rushing home, cooking dinner, get them fed, showered, lunch ready, clothes picked out, and all in bed. So your day, once you wake up, is on the go. 100 miles an hour till about 11 o'clock.
What are some things that you do to try to keep your head on straight?
A lot of fishing, a lot of hunting.
Okay.
Come the fall. Anything outside where I can just kind of take in beauty of the Lord and just calm down and settle for a minute. Sometimes it might take an hour. Sometimes it's just 10 minutes and you need a breather. But yeah, that's one of the outlets. Sitting in a tree stand in the woods, and just listening to the forest wake up in the morning is very soothing.
Followed by the loud sound of a rifle and a dead deer.
Hopefully, yeah.
So, to what degree do you prioritize those things? Because I can imagine, like, even that could get squashed out of your life.
Oh yeah.
So how do you go about deciding, like, hey, I'm going to take this time? How does that work?
Honestly, my wife is a rock star, and she notices stuff like that in me before I notice it in myself. Yeah. So, she'll see if I'm getting short with the kids, or I just look or appear irritated. And she'll ask me if I'm all right, and she's why don't you see what Bob's doing? Y'all go fishing this Saturday.
Oh wow.
And she'll are you okay? Do you need to go? You need to go hit some softballs. Why don't you call so-and-so and drive to Georgia and go hunting for the weekend. You
actually fish on the pond on your church property, right?
I do, yeah. Yep, if I get there early enough. Yeah, give me 10 minutes out there. That's a good way to start the day.
That's amazing.
Yep.
So you found that to be true, just like some nature, some time alone, that's recharging for you?
Yeah, that is
And soothing. So do you try to prioritize that like on an annual basis or like on a weekly basis? Or how does that work?
I really just try to just keep it somewhere in the mix, and we just recently moved a little bit closer to the church, and there's a pond in my backyard too.
Oh, nice.
So, once we get the rush in the morning to get the kids out and to school on time, if I've got an extra 15 minutes before I have to leave, I'll go to the backyard and fish for 15 minutes and, do that. And then if I get to the church early, I can double up on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just somewhere in the mix, just take time. Like I said, my wife is really good at, recognizing it in it before me.
And so other than being short with the kids or whatever, that's one thing. Are there other things in you that she notices or maybe you notice that's like, I need to take a step here. I need to get some time.
Yeah, I will, especially, bigger seasons at church, Easter, Christmas, that kind of, it's just, I start getting anxious, and I can
feel it.
Yeah, I feel, I'm like, man, why am I getting so angry at this? This isn't normal for me, like why am I getting worked up over this? It shouldn't bother me as much as it does. I'll notice that when stuff starts getting a little hectic, and just try to calm down. I know that we got a little secret bathroom at the church.
Okay.
So if things start getting a little hectic on a Sunday morning, I'll just pop into the bathroom and just sit there, stand there for a few minutes and just be like, all right, Lord, I'm ultimately doing this for you. Like it's, I know that I've done the best I can. It's up to you, So just making sure you recognize it in yourself before you get up and you lead people in worship.
So everybody needs their little secret bathroom.
Yes. Yeah. It's convenient. My pastor and I both will go, well, not together. We don't go in there together. It's just a one-seater.
And what if, it's like, if the door's locked, it's a rough day because one of you can't get in there.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we'll both, he'll recognize it in me. Like, hey man, you seemed like you were really rushing through the Sunday morning walkthrough. Are you okay? I'm like, no, this stopped working, or, we were doing this. And, and a part of my job, I feel like, is to look out for my pastor in that respect too. So
for sure,
if I'm seeing him and he's, looking like he's stressed out or something, like, hey, are you okay? What do you need me to do for you? Because you're about to get up and preach the word, and we want that to be as distraction free for you as possible.
Yeah, for sure. So, obviously, for all of us, like, spending time with Jesus is the number one thing in that we prioritize. In fact, I've even more so lately than ever before, I've just been seeing where leaders that are really busy with jobs, with family, with their own personal hobbies, everything else, it's just like boom, 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 boom. And all of a sudden it's Saturday again, And I can even see in my own life, looking back at my journals from, going back 25, 30 years, I can see these gaps. Like these long gaps, because I was in the mode of life and kids and busy and this and that and the other. And the next thing you know, 3 weeks went by. You know what I mean? But I am now seeing more than ever before that we can't functionally go to God on a Sunday morning and bring other people with us to God if we don't even know Him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we can sing songs, we can say spiritual things and act all holy, but it's like an absolute, it's just fake. It's just a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I know that for every leader, we've got to find that rhythm. It's the first rock in the glass. You know what I mean? It's spending time with Jesus. And so I know that I've had some really bad seasons on that in my life, but I wonder about you, like, what is that rhythm that you've been able to develop in the middle of all of this other stuff that you're talking about?
Yeah, it's the rhythm, I think, is the key word that you use there, is, having a time set aside. Mm-hmm. For me, I've got about 25, 30 minutes between my wife and the kids leaving for school to when I actually need to get up and, start getting ready for the day and hopping in the shower. And so I will take that time to go through, a devotional that I've been going through, or just to sit, on the couch and just Lord, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Thank you. Just spend some time talking with the Lord, and but having a set time, and I've got a backup time also when I get off and I'm leaving, going from the church to pick the kids up from the dance studio. It's about a 25-minute drive.
Yeah.
And I can pop on a podcast, or just the read option in the Bible.
Please read out loud. Right, exactly.
So, but yeah, that's kind of my backup time.
Okay.
Is, I've got a little bit. It's a little less focused because I'm driving.
Yeah.
But just spending some time, with the Lord, making sure that my heart's right before I can lead a team and lead other people.
That's good, man. Very good. All right. Well, one last thing before we go. Is there anything, if you could change your schedule, if you could change anything about it, and you could just build it exactly the way that you wanted to build it, nobody else was involved, you get this perfect life, are there some changes that you would want to make?
Oh, man, yeah. I mean, ultimately, you roll in at 11, 12 o'clock in the morning, listen to music for a few hours, and go home, take a nap. That would be ideal,
right.
For anybody in any job, I think. I think as busy as we stay and we get sometimes, I really don't think that I would change a whole lot. I like rolling with the punches a little bit. I think that's just kind of the creative side in us. Just like, oh yeah, it's okay. We'll move on. We can move this meeting back, and I'll make time for that. And I think we're in a good spot, at our church in terms of, how we're all busy, but we're not so busy that it is, we're all working 80 hours a week, doing it. We all get to go home at 5, and it's pretty nice.
Do you have some evenings that except for Wednesday, do you have any other evening responsibilities?
Not typically, no. There's some one-offs, we don't have Sunday night service, so quarterly we'll do a prayer gathering. We'll do like if we're doing a trunk or treat or an egg hunt after church or something, those are kind of given, but they're one-offs. We know they're coming.
Or if you're painting the back of the stage or something.
Yeah. So that's just the normal one-offs, but they're typically planned well in advance.
Awesome.
So
cool,
our pastor's very, very aware of how much we work, and he wants to protect that time.
Hey, what keeps you going, man? Like, what gets you out of bed every morning to go do this ministry?
As of late, my kids have been that. My oldest is 13, and she just went to our student minister and was like, "Hey, I want to be part of our lead team."
Yeah,
for the students.
That's
and
amazing.
She started singing and playing cajon in the student praise band.
There we go.
And then my 11-year-old she's a little techie, so she was like, "Dad, show me how to work ProPresenter."
Yeah.
So she's running slides back there and putting it all in. And that's encouraging.
That's awesome.
It's the church, that we go to, but being able to see that, like, I don't feel like this a lot, but I feel like I did at least a little thing right, with them wanting to be involved.
Yeah, everybody wants to separate all that, right? They want to separate ministry from home, from this, from that. I don't think you separate it all. I just think it's a big, beautiful mess. Yeah. I really do, man. And I love that your kids are getting involved in ministry.
Yeah, it is
so great.
It is just the way that you feel when you're like, "Dad, I want to learn how to lead worship." Like that's it's cool. I'm about to cry right now.
Yeah, right.
So just when your daughter says that, it's a cool thing.
That's awesome. Dude.
So just waking up knowing that you were chosen to be something bigger than yourself.
Yeah, man.
To share the gospel and to proclaim, the Lord. Even if it's for an hour collectively on a Sunday morning, we get to be part of that.
That's so great.
And it's exciting.
Man, humbling.
It is.
Right?
It really is.
God could have chosen 1 billion people better than me.
Yeah. There's a lot of better people out there to do this than me, but somehow here I am.
There you are.
And it's great.
Thanks for being on the podcast, man. I appreciate it. God, we got way more to talk about in the next couple episodes. So, and thank you for joining us on this episode of the Worship Catalyst podcast. For more free resources and our library of books and courses and everything else, head over to worshipcatalyst.com. And always follow us on our socials every week for weekly training multiple times a week at Worship Catalyst. Now, in 2 weeks, we'll be right back with Jaren talking about band practice.
Yes,
Come
sir.
on, man. It's an exciting topic. Learning how Jaren navigates this. I've seen him do it with his team. You got a lot to learn, so I'll see you then.